How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Raspberry Pi 3. Now I got this just for the fun of it. I wanted to do a review on it and see what it's like. And the moment I took this out of the box, I actually fell in love with the Raspberry Pi 3. So this is it right here. I'm going to do a review, and I'm also going to show you the different operating systems that you can run on this. So I've been using the Raspberry Pi 3 for a few months now. I first started out with the Raspbian, but then I switched to OSMC, and watching movies on this is just really nice. Okay, so I bought the Raspberry Pi 3 starter kit for £50, and that came with the official Raspberry Pi case, the one in white color. It also came with the Raspberry Pi 3 motherboard. It came with a 16GB micro SD card that had the noobs on it, and it also came with the official power supply. And all of that cost me just £50, which is honestly a complete bargain. If you are wondering to get the Raspberry Pi 3 or any other mini PC out there, I definitely recommend the Raspberry Pi 3 over all of the ones that I've used so far. It's only £50 and it actually beats all of them in most areas, and it's so much more fun to have than a stupid mini PC. So let's start with the unboxing. Now, it came as a couple of boxes, so each separate thing that I got with the package I had in a separate box, and it was really nice. The packaging really looks nice. I like the simplicity of this whole system. You have the official Raspberry Pi 3 case. I think this also works with Raspberry Pi 2 and the 1. You also have the official power supply, which is 2.5 amps, 5.1 volts. So and this is a long power supply. It's really nice. It's quite long, and so far I haven't had any issues with the power on the Raspberry Pi 3, and I haven't even overclocked it yet, which you can do, but I haven't found the need to overclock it. Then you have the Raspberry Pi 3 motherboard, which is actually a lot smaller than you think. Now, if you're looking at any videos on YouTube and thinking that is a really small PC, well, guess what? It's a quarter of the size of whatever you think it is. That's how small the Raspberry Pi 3 actually is. Anyways, so I set up the Raspberry Pi 3 with the Raspbian first. I didn't use the micro SD card that came included with the Raspberry Pi. I used my own one for no reason. Obviously, they're both really good. I haven't had any problem with either of them. I have been using both of them. The one that came with the Raspberry Pi 3K and the one that I have on my own. No problems at all. So now let's get on with the normal video that I'm on about right now. So this is it. I've got it set up, and it was really easy to put in the case. Let me go ahead and take these out. So I have two thingies over here, and let's go ahead and take a look around it with the case off. So I'm gonna take it off live on video. This is how it comes off. So you just pop it off, and if you have a problem with the cooling, you can leave that on. I'll just go ahead and focus on it, and you can go ahead and leave this off like this, which is kind of cool. You can see all the insides, but to take this off, you take the side panels off first. Now, I don't know which way they are, but they obviously come off, and it doesn't matter. It's not gonna break, and even if it does, it's quite cheap. And then you have this a little hook over here, and I think you have on both sides. You press them in, and you can pick this up, and there you have the Raspberry Pi 3, and you can take that out. So this is how this is basically the case over here, and I've got two thumbstick things, dongles plugged into it. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Raspberry Pi 3. Okay, so you have the Broadcom quad-core processor over there, and I'm not sure what most of these things are because I haven't really bothered to look into it. But the Raspberry Pi 3 compared to the Raspberry Pi 2, I think has a built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. That would be down here. There it is. There's the Wi-Fi Bluetooth chip. And let's go ahead and turn it back around. Okay, so you have the HDMI out for plugging into a TV or anything that you have. You have the USB for the power. You have something port. You have a something port. You have the 3.5mm headphone jack, and I believe you can also set that up to do SD video out. Or although I'm not really sure about that. You have I think it's 100 megabit Ethernet port over here. You have your 4 USB ports for plugging in anything you want. And you also have the GPIO pins. I think these are 40 pin. So these basically can be programmed for pretty much anything you want. So that is really cool. Now you can also see here that it has 4 screws, and you can mount this onto something. But mainly these are used for just hooking them into cases. There are so many cases out there. I've been interested in loads of them, including the Nest Pi case, which I find really interesting, but I haven't really got that because I know I don't need it. So there's the motherboard kind of thing itself. It's pretty small. It fits in my hand, but it's a lot smaller than you think. I'm just gonna zoom out a bit. Alright, let's go ahead and put it back into the case over here. So this is the bottom bit, and I have got the micro SD card slot in here. This is the one that came with there with the noobs. And it is advised I take this out, but I'm just gonna, there we go, we just slid it in there, and the micro SD card actually pops out over here at the back. And basically this is really easy to just line up. You just have to get this right, which is easy, and even if you break it, honestly, you can just get another one. It's so cheap. There we go, hooked in there, and you can leave it like this if you want. There we go, so it looks like a skeleton, which is nice. Alright, let's go ahead and put the this side on. There we go, so it just hooks in there and it just clicks in, which is really nice. Nothing else really has this kind of stuff in today's day and age, you know. It's just the Raspberry Pi. This is more of a fun kind of thing to have, but I take it a bit seriously. I can actually do quite a bit of things, and there we go, that's all there is. So you have the input oh, there we go, you can see the video icon over there. That means you can use this with SD video out. You got the power in, HDMI, audio out. You got the Ethernet port and all that kind of jazz on this side. You got nothing, and you got the micro SD card slot. And you'll also have the two indicators. One is to indicate that it's getting power, which is always a little bit red. That means it is getting power. And the other one is the read write LED, which blinks in yellow, and that'll let you know if the memory card is being written to. So don't shoot the power off when that is blinking. Whenever you turn the system off, make sure that it stops blinking, that LED over there, and then obviously unplug it. Now you also have at the bottom feet, which came separately with the kit, and you can put them on, and they are really grippy, unbelievably grippy. These are nice. So let's talk about what I've got on the side. So this here is the 64GB memory stick, and I've got some movies on this which I watch. And I got the USB receiver for a wireless and keyboard and mouse. You can use wired keyboard and mouse, proper full-size ones. I haven't had any issues with the power by using them like that. But for what I use it for, I think it's more better to use the wireless mouse and keyboard kind of combos, because I have on this memory card OSMC, which is for watching movies, and I'm using this as a media center right now. Now over here I have the other memory card, and this is the SanDisk 16GB Evo Pro memory card, and I have Raspbian on here. Now that came with the kit. That's not to do with this memory card, that's to do with this memory card. I think it has, yeah, it has a Raspberry Pi logo on it over here as well, so that's quite cool. Alright, so basically the Raspberry Pi 3 doesn't have a BIOS, and that basically means the whole memory card itself is the BIOS, is the operating system, is everything that you need to run the software on the Raspberry Pi 3. The Pi 3 motherboard is just a hardware kind of configuration that emulates the whole thing, and it has nothing to do with the settings or whatnot. It doesn't have anything like that. To control the CPU and everything is all on the memory card, and that means this is completely unlocked. You can do whatever you want with it, but don't go overboard. You can overclock it or whatever you want to do. The GPIO pins are actually locked in here. Oh yeah, forgot about that. But this case is good for using it without GPIO pins, using it as a media center or something. The GPIO pin can be configured to do pretty much anything. You can make robots or whatever out of this. Now I haven't used them for anything right now, but I'm probably not going to use them for anything in the future because I don't think I need to. This thing works pretty much perfectly fine the way it is, and I'm happy with that. So what I can do in this state that it is at now is just take out this memory card and put this one in, and then I have a whole new PC. That's basically it. So you can have a ton of memory cards out there. You can just swap them around and you have a brand new PC without buying a new PC. You just get a memory card and you put one in. Now depending on the memory card speed, it will affect how fast the OS loads and all that. I believe these both are class 10. Yeah, both are class 10. This is micro SD HC card, and so is this one. I'm not sure if it's post XC, but I'm not even bothered. I don't think you need to go that fast. These load up pretty fast. Let's go ahead and show you what the Raspberry Pi can do. I'm going to load into Raspbian, and I'll show you what you can do, and I'm also going to load into OSMC and show you what I've got set up on watching movies and all that kind of stuff. And trust me, this thing is all you need for your whole music life as of right now. Obviously it doesn't do 4K, but I don't need 4K right now, and I don't think anyone should or will if you're watching movies from a far distance. So there's something to consider. But everything else that it does really well. You can play everything with this, but we'll get onto that when you're talking about OSMC. So I'm gonna just swap out this memory card over here. Boom, there we are. So let's go ahead and plug this in here. There we go, and then now I've got a brand new PC running Raspbian, and you can do pretty much anything you want. You can load a GIMP on it, a GIMP for video editing, I mean photo editing. Don't recommend it for video editing, that's a bit stupid. You can use it for downloading torrents, but the thing is, the power consumption is so low that you can just leave this on doing something. You can do Bitcoin mining if you can get this to set up that way. You can get it set up that way, and you can do Bitcoin mining and whatever you want. Leave it on, and it'll work. It also has a GPU, which I didn't talk about. Not sure about the specs, but it has 1 gig of RAM, and it got a quad-core processor, and that's all I know. So that's all you need to know, because when you get this, there's no upgrading, there's no downgrading, nothing like that. It's just like a console. You get it and you just play with it and do whatever you want. So to start up the Raspberry Pi, you basically plug it in with the power, and that's it. You turn the power on and it turns on, and then you have the HDMI for audio video out, and that goes to the screen, and then you can just use it just like a PC. So let's go ahead and show you how I've got it set up, and then we'll go ahead and load into Raspbian. Alright, I've got the lights on and the video lights on set up right now, which I'll take this off, but this is my monitor that I use, and I have my Raspberry Pi 3 right over there. It's their setup is a clean setup, and I use this keyboard over here for controlling it, and it works really well. So I've got it plugged in with the HDMI and the power cord that came with it, and that's basically where it sits. So I'm gonna show you how Raspbian works on this. So after I unboxed the Raspberry Pi, I did install Raspbian on it, and to do that you obviously need a Windows machine, I think. And so I did that using Rufus on my Windows 10 device. Now it was really simple, and the first time I booted it up, I did run into some problems, but these aren't problems. I would say they're more like optimization stuff. So first off, obviously with the Raspbian and the Raspberry Pi, you can't use the NTFS or the XFAT systems because they're owned by Microsoft, I think that's right. So to do that, you need to install those two storage firmwares, and so I did that with using two commands in the terminal, and after that my USB sticks that are formatted in XFAT and hard drives and stuff, they all started working. Now I also started messing around with the customization, and I have to say this is probably the most customizable software that I've ever found as of right now. As you can see, when you first boot it up, you get this white user interface, and it looks kind of nice and stuff, but I prefer a black one, so I changed the whole theme into black. After that, I tried installing Quake 3, which I did succeed at, but I think with the newest firmware, there is a problem with the operating system that has a problem with running Quake 3. I get this next level error, which I think has just to do with the operated firmware of the new version of Raspbian. With the older versions, you could just install and run the game and it should run. With the new ones, it's a bit of a different story. I didn't bother trying to figure it out, because I don't think I really even wanted to play Quake 3 on it. And another one of the things I think I wouldn't call this a problem, but I'm not sure what the problem was with the Wi-Fi. If you go into the configuration, the terminal, and you write iwconfig, it shows you all the properties of the Wi-Fi adapter that you've got. And there was one option where it said the power management, and I've got a bit curious to what that is. And so I wanted to turn that off because I think it was messing with the Wi-Fi and it kept on disconnecting, or it was slower at times and then faster. But I didn't want that. I wanted it consistent and top notch. So I went ahead and tried to disable it. Obviously with Linux and Raspbian, because it is Linux, it's Debian and stuff, you can't have some settings changed forever. You have to write the script into the boot up into the start up algorithm. So you have to make a script, and I went into the settings, obviously looking at tutorials and guides on web pages and the web browser. Web browsing is fine on the Raspberry Pi, and I did all this by using just the Raspberry Pi itself, and I put that script into the boot up kind of thing, and whenever I booted it up next time, the power management on the Wi-Fi was off, which is good because that's what I wanted it. Now there is another thing in Raspbian, that is Python games. Now I didn't spend too much time on it, but you can play games, and you've also got Python on this, so you can make your own games as well as Scratch, which you can do whatever you want with. Now that's all I did when I first got it out of the box. I've been messing around with it. Let's talk about some more things that I did with the different commentary that I'm recording live now. Alright, so I'm sitting on my bed right now, and I normally watch movies like this on the Raspberry Pi, but I've loaded into Raspbian. Just want to show you what I've got on it and how it looks and stuff. So I'm gonna jump into the capture card video, but I want to show you that I've got this keyboard which is like backlit and stuff, and I've got this connected wirelessly to the Raspberry Pi, and I've also got the exFAT thumb drive plugged into it. So here it is. File manager is a little bit different than what I use on Ubuntu GNOME on my laptop, but it's kind of the same thing. So I want to show you what I've done with it. So here, down here you got the free space left. Really, I can load more movies onto this then. I've been deleting them after, after I watch them. But we're gonna jump into OSMC later on, and I'm gonna crap, we just frozen somewhere. No, it's just this. No, you can just do the keyboard. I've got the videos over here in 4K as well, for us playback test to see how well it does in OSMC, and I'll go through these videos. But first of all, let's just show you how I've got it set up. So as you can see, the bar at the top is still at the top. You can move it in any way you want. You can have it on the left side, right side, down here. I've left it at the top because I think it kind of feels Raspberry Pi like, so I'm left it like that. Now over here I've got Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi. It actually shows you the, well, there's an Ethernet cable. It actually shows you the IP address. So yeah, funky stuff. This goes right down to hardcore stuff straight up. You got Bluetooth, which I've actually disabled to save on some battery life, and then you got the volume control. I'm gonna plug in my mojo in a bit. And you got the temperature over here, the CPU usage, and then the temperature. You can actually change this, completely customizable. You can go ahead and what's it called, monitor setting, and here it is. You can change the warning color 1, 2 and stuff, and I'll set the colors over there. So when it goes to, I think, a warning color 1, which is 60 degrees, and then it goes to like yellowish, and then when it goes to 80 degrees, then it goes red. So I'll just put it like that. And then you've got this icon here, which you can use to remove your USB drives and stuff. Now I think this folder over here is a document. Oh, I thought I had a folder called reviews. I think I moved it. So I've basically been writing reviews on this. When I first got it, I haven't used Raspbian in a while because I've been watching movies in it. So if you go over here in Office, you've got your calculator, which is Excel. Just move up a bit. This is basically like a mini desktop, and I love this thing because of it. And I can just switch out the memory card, which I've got in right now, and reboot it, which is by cutting the power off, obviously after you successfully shut the system down. And then when you change the memory card, you can go into a different operating system. So this is well, it's basically Linux, and I think if let's go ahead and see if I can draw a table. 24. Let's make it 25 because I'm not good at maths. Nobody is. Here we go. 25 again. Alright, and then over here you can do equals. Can you like press? Oh look, you can't. B2 plus plus this. There we go. So that's a 50. I wanted to see if I can actually make a graph, something. Oh, here it is. Oh no, you can make a chart. Oh, flipping heck, it's actually done it. Holy, didn't expect it to, but so that's 1, that's 2, 25, and then 50. Wait, what? Oh no, I've selected the wrong one. Cancel. You can see this the CPU usage over there. Cancel that. Get rid of this. Yes, it is, you know, obviously Linux, so it's more like 2.2, but it works really, and it just, I don't know, it works, innit? Really gonna get here, sure. So do it again this time. Let's see what we can do. So that's, I will just make a bar chart. You can make it look 3D. You can make a pie chart as well. Because I don't know how you make work these, but I mean, it kind of works, you know. Area, you need a different kind of formats for that kind of stuff in it. So I think bar chart would work. No, alright, that's fine, whatever. Oh no, it does work now. Freaking. So it basically takes a little while to just adjust. And it's done it wrong as well in case it, oh no, it's done it right now. Can you change the colors on this crap? Next. Fill color. Fill color. Oh, you can make it 3D as well if you want. There we go. That's not the highest quality, but it seems to be working, bro. Seems to be working. I mean, you can just, like, I don't know, do whatever you want with this. Realistic or simple? What's the difference? Oh, one's a bit sharper because it's like a 3D model. And yeah, you can move this around, hope. Can you? No? Or you can move the chart on here, whatever. Not this bit here. Can you move the whole thing? There we go. Boom. So I mean, it just works, you know. Alright, we go into, it's going to 51 degrees. I just keep my eye on that for some weird reason. And you go to writer, and then this is basically your, so when your text thingy, so I can just zoom in here, and then you can write hello world. And then you can basically replace Microsoft's stupid stuff like that costs money. Now you got Minecraft, which I don't think I've made a video, so we're gonna do that in a bit. But let's go ahead and jump on to web browser. Now Chromium web browser was recently put into Raspbian itself as the official web browser for the Raspberry Pi, and this basically means one of the good things is that it has hardware acceleration for video playback. So what I'm gonna do is, and I think Raspbian for the Raspberry Pi and also OSMC, they both come with ALSA drivers, so you can plug a mojo in and it would work kind of the way it's meant to. I'm not gonna say that it works perfectly. Now what the heck is this? Alright, it's my other account which I don't use anymore. Yeah, it's a little bit sluggish and stuff. But we are gonna jump into the reviewing channel. Here we go. But it gets the job done for some weird reason. I mean, I kind of like it just for that. Let's see. Oh yes, I was looking for this video that I watched. So let's go on the history, and then we can scroll down to find it. That's not the history. I haven't been watching any of these videos. Christ, they're loading the whole lot. This is really old history. What the heck is still freaking loading? Just stop loading already, man. It's not that far down, is it now? Right, go up. No, this is not. Hey, what? I've got another way of finding the videos over here. I think it's the other way around, is it? Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? What the heck? I think it is. Right, screw this. What's it called? Right, there we go. So I just wanted to put this video in the watch later list because it seems to like I wanna just kind of see how that's like. I'm gonna download it. So now we know the name of that, we can probably put it anyway. But let's go ahead and play a video back, one of my own, just in case of copyright and stuff. Oh, here is my channel. So let's go into video. So you know, for some things it kind of takes a little while and all to load, but for the most part it actually works. So let's go a bit down and find a video that I did in 1080p, which I used to do. I think this one might be in 1080, and you can try play that back. It's in some, oh no, it is in 1080, but it is cut off from the bottom and the top a bit, as in actually cut off. It's not like there's no borders or anything in the video. So let's go ahead and see what this is like right now. Current optimal resolution is 360p. Now the problem with the Pi is that when it comes to video playback and all, it drops in some frames. Well, it's not dropping right now, but maybe because there's not a lot of movement in here. But it will definitely drop them if I try to do something. Now if you watch my mini PC review of the other mini PC kind of thing I had, and that's the Wi-Fi chip inside, obviously it's a bit slower and stuff, that has the same issue, but it doesn't drop as many frames in 1080. But if you drop down to 720, the Pi is still gonna drop some frames, but it's gonna be like so much better. It's just the Wi-Fi, I think. But I've got it positioned, it's not gonna load, so just screw this. But for watching videos, I'll be honest with you, I don't recommend it for watching YouTube videos, but even in OSMC it kind of goes off sync. But so now it's gone to 60 degrees, so it's gone yellow now, which is cool. Let's go down here again. So this costs 50 quid, and I mean this is just amazing for what it is. I'm just impressed, and I want to install RetroPie on it, so we're gonna do that. But 720p is much better performance. I don't think it'll even drop a frame. Maybe, wait, there we go. So it just dropped some. So as you can see, it does drop frames, but I mean it's not bad. It's definitely doable. But that being said, I wouldn't recommend it for gaming. I mean, obviously watching videos. Now let's jump into games. It's got some Python games, but we can jump into Minecraft. And what I found funny about this game is that if you go into full screen, the cursor doesn't appear somewhere. Where's it gonna? So there it is, and then I just don't know where the cursor is now. I went, oh there it is, so now it's working. It's gone off again. I think it might be the GPU. Let's just jump into a new world, and we can play this. We can move around and whatever we want to do, we can do all that. But and it's constant 60 FPS, which is really good. But what I wanna do is make this full screen, so then it's actually 1080. But even then, it's like, what on earth is this crap world over here that they put me in? I mean, yes, it is an older version. Let's talk about this Minecraft version over here. So this is a port of really old Pocket Edition, which used to be very limited, and I don't think it has survival. So that is like really old. But this Minecraft Pi was actually left behind. Like they don't work on it anymore for some weird reason. I'd like to see at least Minecraft Pocket Edition 0.8.0. That would be really nice on this, because this runs perfectly fine. I mean, it just works really well. And look at the CPU usage, 6%. I mean, damn, this Minecraft Pi can handle Minecraft for like nothing. Well, this Minecraft, obviously this is 0.8 or something, or even Pocket Edition, the newest one on Android. It would probably do very well. But you can build in here. I've just got this keyboard, and obviously it's not good for playing games for Minecraft, but it's nice. It will work. This is the old Minecraft textures as well. And well, I'm just holding it down and just really slow. Whatever, it works though. I mean, and it works really well. But the only problem is if you're in full screen, the cursor is like, hang on. Can you use this? Oh, you can use a keyboard. Alright, quit tutorial. Oh, you can use a keyboard. And it just froze or something. It's not frozen, it's just that it's just, you know, it's a really old version. I think it's alpha, as in, yes, it's alpha, so it wasn't even a complete version. I wouldn't say that it is. So it doesn't work as well as the new versions that you have now. So let's go ahead and jump on to this. We can use, I've got VLC player as well in here if you want to see it on video. Audacity. I've been editing on this and it works fine. The only problem is with the USB digital out, there is a lot of clicking and stuff going on because it does everything in real time. So don't know how to fix that, but it works. I've edited the audio for one video on this, and that's live on YouTube, and that's the Samsung CO2 microphone review that I did, and that audio was edited on this, half edited on this Pi, and half was on the other thingy. I'll just go ahead and open this up, and it'll just take a few seconds or something. And if this is like black, the UI, like the UI is really nice. I've got it set on to black, and I've got VLC play, by the way, that's what I'm gonna say. Now VLC play for the Pi right now, it doesn't have hardware acceleration, so if I play a video back, it's gonna start to struggle really hard. But the other player that comes built in with the Pi that has hardware acceleration, and also, so as you can see, 98% I mean, it just starts to, it doesn't have hardware acceleration basically, so you're not going to be able to play videos with that. You can, however, configure it to have hardware acceleration because it's the Pi, you know. Now what on earth is, I don't know what is using it right now. I think there's a system monitor thing. Oh wait, stop using it. You got theme settings and you can change like all sorts of stuff in here, but let's not go into that because I don't want to. But basically, I think if you open up the terminal, which is Alt and T, or just press this because I don't know the thingy, is OMX player. Now this player, what is it? Caps? Is it? Yeah, so it is. This has got this like built-in stuff, and you can turn your Pi into a proper desktop. Let's go ahead and see if you can find. Now it is, I think it's case sensitive, so yeah, because this doesn't read the space and also this thing, so I think we can copy across. Then let's just put this away. So what's the smallest file? You got this one? Alright, let's go ahead and copy this to the desktop here. There we go, boom boom. Okay, so that's there. Now I don't know which is the desktop is in. Okay, so here it is. Now let's see if we can actually get that up. There we go. So that's how this can work. Now the problem is there is no UI, so it's just playing the video. No problem playing the video here, it's perfectly fine at 1080p 30, but for video playback I'd recommend you jumping onto OSMC for that, but this works fine. And space is to play and pause, X is to, how do you, okay, so you just press escape and it just closes it down. But what we're gonna do now is, there we go, there's the video playback, still in here. Let's copy it across, didn't delete it, I mean, you know, stuff. I'm gonna stop the recording now. I'm gonna switch out the memory card and we're gonna jump into OSMC, but you'll be able to see what I'm doing because I'm recording on the camera as well. So let's go ahead and shut this down and then wait for the LEDs on the side of the Pi to just stop blinking. I don't know if you can see that. So let's go ahead and jump onto that. Okay, so here we go. Just switching out a memory card. Yep, nothing went wrong. And let's go ahead and turn it back on. this should then pop up over here, and it's loading into a weird place because it's not set up for this kind of thing. I'm gonna have to change the resolution and all, but we can do that, I think. Okay, so I'm having some problems with the capture card because that's in a different setting, and so this won't really work with that. So I've changed the resolution down to 720 by 480p, which isn't good, but I think we're gonna have to stick with it just so you can record it. But if you plug this straight into the monitor, then it should be able to use 1080p. I can record in 1080, but it just goes off. So I can record in 480, but you can't use this without a capture card to record in 1080p. But we'll just go ahead and plug the module in, and I'll show you the settings and stuff, because that's all I want to show you about it. Not play some movies back. So I'll just bring that here. If I just go ahead and plug it in here. Now, I haven't had any problems playing videos or movies or whatever with this. So let's go ahead and show you the settings. So it's in lower resolution, but you can go ahead and jump into display and then change the resolution from here to 1080. But what I found is that, and the background is my own, I've made it. So now you can customize this, but I want to just jump into settings, and I want to show you. Now when you first set this up to run OSMC, what you find is that it's really laggy and stuff. So you can go into system and then display, and then change this down to 450p, and that's because that's just the GUI scaling kind of thing. And it can't, if you up this to whatever, it will be better in quality, but I don't think you need it that much, and it does get a lot more laggy. So this isn't going to change the resolution of the video that you're playing. That's up here. So right now I've got it on to 480p, so it's working with the capture card. But can go all the way to 1080, and it should work with that. You have the refresh rate that you can change. Nice. I'm not going to mess with that right now because it's recording. Now if you go into videos, and I've got this set up to the way I want it to work. I've got the drive plugged in, which I was on Raspbian. So if I go into playback settings, and I want to show you the AVI, and down here it does show you the settings that you have for it. So and it won't play these videos in the actual resolution now because we're down to 480p, but you can play them in the optimal resolution. But anyways, so here's surround sound. Surround sound works perfectly fine on this, and there is a problem with the sound which I'll talk about. So I mean, none of these videos have problems. Here's 1080p 60, and you can press that to find out what it's doing. So screen resolution is 480, as you can see, and it's downscaling it. This is 1080p 30. It works perfectly fine. So you're watching this on you're watching this on the Raspbian system, and it's the same over here. The only thing is the resolution is low, so I'm recording, so that's why. And then obviously 1080p 60 works just as well. So it is much smoother. You can see that because the video is in low quality. But if you go to 4K, I mean 2160p, that's not 4K. It does this. It does this. You can't play 4K videos on here. It's not that it's not in outputting in HDMI into 4K. It just doesn't even downscale it. And same thing with this. And then when it goes to native, which is its own resolution, it's going to do the same thing. Whatever, this is 4K. I think this is, I'm guessing they're both 4K. This is like Ultra HD 4K. This is DCI 4K, which is just a little bit higher. But basically, it doesn't play back 4K video. So if you're thinking about that, it's not going to work. Now let's go into settings, and I want to just enable the module. I'll just turn it on right now. Boom, there we are. And then if you go back into here, let's go ahead and play this. Now if you press enter on playing a video, it brings up this menu, and you can customize this. Like, you can change the way it looks, but you can't change the UI. You can change the colors and all. Now down here you have settings over here, right? So you got the video settings. So up here it just shows you the video, and if you have MKV files, you can change the video input if it has multiple video inputs for some weird reason. And then you can go on to audio and you can enable the subtitles if you have them, and then you can change it over here. So I've got two over here. You got the stereo and 5.1 surround sound. So if you get MKV file with different languages, you can change that from here. And if it's off sync, then you can change that from here. But it shouldn't go off sync. I've never had it go off sync, and this isn't even overclocked, so you can just allow thingy pass through. And I think that's 48 kilohertz. The module is showing I think that's 44.1 kilohertz. Let's go ahead and change that to this one, see if that changes. Yeah, so now it's gone orangish, so that's 48 kilohertz in stereo. If you want to go to surround sound, it's gonna change the module to red. But that basically means it's the ASLA driver, ALSA drivers I think they called, they work. So this is allow pass through. That means it's going to send out as a digital signal over USB. Now the module doesn't support X's to turn the thing off, AAC, and it doesn't support DTS as well. So if you want to play those back, you want to disable allow pass through. And what that's going to do is, if I just go back on here, what that's going to do is it's going to, from here, it's going to start processing the audio itself, and then it's going to output through a USB to the module, and then you will be able to hear the module working. But the problem with that is, and by the way, these, if you stop them while you're watching, and sometimes if there's a movie is long or something, there's a little box that says you've been watching this, and when you want to play back, it's going to ask you on this menu to start from where you left off, or do you want to start from the beginning. So that's cool. We're going to go into movies because of copyright. Let's go into settings, and I want to jump into system, and I want to show you the audio settings. So I've got ALSA drivers using SPDIF out to the module, and these are the settings that I've got on, which is gonna, now these settings I find that they reduce the clicking of the audio that comes through, and that's one of the problems I've been having with the module. Because the Raspberry Pi, the ALSA drivers, they do decoding in real time. Sometimes I think it just can't keep up with it, and so it kind of just clicks, just misses that tiny bit out in the audio, but it doesn't like stop working and all. And you can change all this over here. Output configuration, so you can change it to optimized and fixed. I put it on best match, so it changes it to what the best is for the video that you're playing back. So normally for a movie it goes to 48 kilohertz, and this does also downsample surround sound to stereo headphones. So if you have that kind of setup, that'll work. So you got the built-in, I think, VCM 2835, I think that's the built-in DAC chip, and then you got the analog out, which is gonna process it and then send it out, and then you got digital out, whatever. And you can also have a HDMI and the 3.5mm headphone jack out, which is using the built-in DAC, or you can just send it straight out to HDMI, so that'll work. But this basically allows the module to work properly, and I haven't got the module to work properly in the Ubuntu GNOME because it hasn't come with ALSA drivers, and I've installed them but I haven't set them up because I can't be asked. Now over here you have the options for allow pass through, which is going to send you out as data, and then you got the DTS, enable that. So if it receives, if the module or whatever you're using can decode DTS, then you enable that, and all these others, and this all works really well. You also got DSP, didn't know that. Check that out, bro. Where's it gone? Oh, here it is. Reset. Alright, forget that. But basically the module works perfectly with this, and if you want to use this for watching movies, this is perfect. I've had no problems with this. So this thing has no problem playing back 40 megabytes per second video at 1080p 60, and this is not coming from me, this is from a different YouTuber, I forgot the name of, who was playing back recorded files from a Elgato capture card, and they had no problem playing, and this isn't even overclocked. If you go into my.OSMC and then Pi configuration, there's overclocking as well. Here it is, overclock, and have it on the normal frequencies. Default is 900, 450. I haven't changed any of this. So let's go back, and if you go into settings, I think if you go into system info, it's going to show you down here the CPU usage, and when playing movies this barely jumps up. So a 1080p 60 movie or 1080p 30 movies at 24, I mean, this barely jumps up. So it's really powerful for playing movies because it's such a light system. It works with sound, DTS, motor, downstream. So basically got everything covered. This is like the perfect all-in-one plug-and-play movie, media center. You can also watch movies on it, obviously, music, but I don't have any of them right here. I don't have my music on here. I prefer the music player with the DSD and stuff. So it basically has no problem playing movies or videos. You can also have changed bookmarks if you want, or you can change the subtitles, and you can find one if you want over here. Local subtitle found. Have you found a subtitle? Wow. Let's see, plug that on. Enable subtitles, which they don't have. Or was it just the beginning? I think they popped something up, but you can disable those. So if you're watching movies in different languages and all, no problem here. You can just enable that, and over here it does show the time of the movie or whatever, and then when it's gonna end. So this is really cool. So that's when it's going to end, and the time right now. So I really like this. And with also oh, there's a box thing that came. So there it is. So now it's gonna ask you if you want to start from there. But you also got video add-ons, YouTube. Now I did obviously watch YouTube on this, but I don't think it has enough. I don't know what it is. They just allows up to maximum 720p 60, but if you want to go 1080, then it goes to 1080 interface. 1080i. So that's funny. But you've got all these boarding videos. Why the heck are they all in some random order? Can I not just go on to? Alright, yeah, I have to go to my channel. Now this I have signed into once. You have to confirm it with your phone and everything. But after it works, it works really well, but the audio goes way off sync. So that's why I just didn't want to bother with this. It does work, it does play the videos back and stuff, but I don't like watching YouTube on it because it just goes off sync. Like the video and audio go way off sync. So it works though, it works really well, and obviously you got the normal UI and stuff. I've turned the resolution down, so maybe it's not going to do that, but you can press tab, and then while the video is playing in the background you can mess around with the menus. So we can now jump down here to settings and system info, and look at this, 40%, yeah, 20%, memory use is 20. So there is no way you're gonna bottleneck this thing in any, it's not gonna be, you're not gonna good look with that. But this video is in lower quality, so it is on YouTube. I don't know if the audio went off sync because I can't hear it, but I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm gonna go into power and then turn off, and that's basically how you turn it off. But what I want to do is reset the settings back to what they were. By the way, if you do want to, if this looks too much like SD to you, that's what I found when I first plugged it in, you want to go into the monitor settings because it doesn't have the settings in the Pi itself. But what you want to do is go into the monitor settings, and from there you want to reduce the HDMI levels down to black instead of normal, and that's gonna increase the dynamic range, as in it's gonna take the 16 to 255 signal and it's gonna push it down to 0 to 255, and that's gonna improve the way the movie looks and stuff, and that kind of works like that. Same problem with the PC, but it has shaders in there, so I can just enable those, but you're gonna have to do it from the monitor or whatever you're using to get that working. I've got it working, so it's fine on this monitor, and that also depends on which monitor you have. but after you get it working, you should be fine and it'll look alright. So I'm gonna shut this down now. Okay, goodbye. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. The link will be in the description. If you want to buy the Raspberry Pi 3, make sure you check that out, and I'll see you guys in another video.